In softball, man. So
it's Keith Thurman.
We're learning, man. We're constantly evolving, and I had fun in there. At the end of the day, that's my arena. That's my job. I get to go to work and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't show up to your job and tell you what to do, so you can't tell me what to do, baby. You know what I'm saying? Keith, what do you want next? We want anybody in the top 10. To be honest, top 10. Top 10 will satisfy me. You pick number 10, number 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, baby. It's all good to me.
You mentioned Maidana right now. He's in ringside. You mentioned him. Is that a fight that you would want to do? And what happened in that fight?
It's a great fight, man. I can guarantee there's going to be more knockdowns than this one. You know, there might be him going down. There might be me going down. It'd be a terrific fight, man. I respect Maidana as a world-class fighter, and I'm looking forward to anything.
At this point, do you feel like you're one of the top 5 welterweights in the division? It's such a deep division. Do you think you distinguish yourself enough? In order, you called out Floyd Mayweather. Obviously, you think you're one of the best. How do you feel about that?
I feel confident, man. At the end of the day, it's about the training camp. The 8-month layoff, I felt just a little rusty, but he was awkward. He was awkward. I wasn't sure what to do. I didn't want to get wild and open up and make it easy for him. He was making it difficult for me, so I was making it difficult for him. I just simply sat there, boxed, and threw the more accurate punches, man. Floyd ain't the only one that can go 12 rounds.
Is this one of those things where...
right now, it's looking like fans want to say that Marcos Maidana is ducking or is going to duck Keith one-time Thurman. Here's my take on it. Marcos Maidana has fought Floyd Money Mayweather, the biggest fight in the world, the highest paid athlete in the world, #1 in pay-per-view buys, A-side in all situations. He fought him twice. He didn't fight Floyd Pretty Boy Mayweather Jr. He fought Floyd Money Mayweather. This era, he fought him twice. So, what I'm saying is, Keith Thurman is good. Keith Thurman had a bit of a bump in the road with Leonard Bundu only because he didn't knock Leonard Bundu out. And he fought an awkward fighter. Leonard Bundu is that fighter. I thought Leonard Bundu would go down, be knocked out by a body shot. But Keith Thurman talking about the 8-month layoff. How do you feel about the 8-month layoff? I'm not even going to lie to you. I feel it just was BS. I thought that they couldn't find him a reasonable enough fight. And, we all know earlier this year after he beat Julio Diaz and after Mayweather beat Maidana in that close fight, it could have been almost Thurman versus Maidana. No, Maidana versus Thurman on the undercard of Mayweather versus Khan for September of 2014. But we all know Maidana got 2 shots. So we know that Robert Guerrero has been linked to Keith Thurman at the end of 2013. And throughout 2013, actually, after he got defeated by Floyd Mayweather, and now earlier this year, he fought Yoshihiro Kamagai, meaning Robert Guerrero, and called Keith Thurman Keith Urban and didn't even acknowledge anything about him. He just doesn't want to fight him. Is that ducking? I'm saying this. This is what I'm saying. You got Maidana versus Sean Porter. You got Maidana versus Khan 2. You got Maidana versus Danny Garcia. And when just naming those fighters right there, and then throw Keith Thurman into the mix. Keith Thurman may be a fight that fans may want to see over those 3 fights I just mentioned, but the money. Our Heyman fighters are about the business and about the money. Come on, let's throw the double standard out. So if you're a Keith Thurman fan, understand that what does he generate? Is it his fault? Because his management team is keeping him away from certain fighters or not telling his fighters when they have the same manager. You might as well say the same promoter. He's not making them fight each other. So it is largely on the manager's fault. I mean, on the manager's shoulders. But the manager is looking out for the fighter. Thank you, Al Heyman. But what does it mean as far as Keith Thurman is concerned? It means that right now, he's getting older, he's 26 years old, and he does not have a title yet. He does not have it. Now, he's 26 now. He's been around for quite some time, people. He should have had at least one title right now. It doesn't help that Floyd Mayweather has 2 of them, you know, and then Pacquiao's got 1. But then you got IBF, Sean Porter, Kell Brook. But to get a world title, it seems as though, in my personal opinion, that Al Heyman is holding on to him until Mayweather is gone. So Al Heyman's probably telling him, listen, kid, I'm going to make you #1. I'm going to have you making $20 million a fight. Just hang in there. And we got to get him fighting guys like Leonard Bundu, even though Leonard Bundu good. Leonard Bundu 40 years old, and fans don't, you know, can't relate to him as far as the United States is concerned. Now, would Keith Thurman go over to the UK to fight Kell Brook? Well, Al Heyman, now you got to understand the politics of boxing. Well, Al Heyman allow Keith Thurman, you know, to fight in the UK against Kell Brook. I'm going to make Kell Brook come over here again. You got Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter. You know, Keith Thurman versus who? Let me think. Well, I wouldn't say Mauricio Herrera. Herrera can fight at 147, but I wouldn't even dare. You know, I'm just seeing that it's about fighters wanting to give him a chance. Now, with the fighters that he's calling out, you know, I'm talking about the ones that he was aggressively calling out. He's calling out Amir Khan, who's been linked to Floyd Mayweather. Robert Guerrero, that was before, who was coming off of a Mayweather fight. And then Marcos Maidana, who fought Mayweather twice. Those 3 guys want to make sure they get the best possible fight they can possibly get. You know, and I'm talking about making sure they can't get a Pacquiao, making sure they can't get a Cotto, making sure they can't get a Timothy Bradley. And I'm just naming names I know about the networks, making sure they can't get a Danny Garcia, a Adrian Broner, a Lamont Peterson, a Devin Alexander, you know. And then Keith Thurman, I'm talking about as far as selling power. You know, selling power, high risk, low reward, Keith Thurman, who in the first card he headlined this year against Julio Diaz, had Matisse versus Molina on the undercard, and that's like one of the top 3 fights of the year. He did not draw. If I'm correct, the peak ratings, the highest the ratings were during the Marcos Maidana fight. He didn't draw. If he fights down in Miami, does he draw down there? Where does the tickets come from? And also, when he fought Leonard Bundu, you're the co-feature. Now, the co-feature was supposed to be Demetrius Andrade versus Charlo. I forgot which one. Don't sue me. But there were empty seats in like the front row. And what I'm saying is the people that had the front row seats, yes, they may be coming to see Amir Khan or Devin Alexander, but what I'm saying is, like, that just showed me right there when he entered the ring and I saw like all them empty seats. I'm thinking like, oh, they're not saying, oh shit, Keith Thurman fight, let's go see. You know, they probably think like, oh, Keith Thurman fighting some guy Bundu, yeah, he good, but then they probably getting their drinks and their food, getting ready to come. You know, they didn't start showing up to like the 7th, 8th round. Like, you know, it's so many different factors that I look at and I say to myself, how can I say he's ducking? You know, how can I say Marcos Maidana ducking him, or is he going to duck him? It makes no sense. Marcos Maidana fought Floyd Mayweather. You know, first, of course, Marcos Maidana is going to try to get a Floyd Mayweather. I'm just thinking if you're Marcos Maidana. Marcos Maidana, of course, they're going to try to get him. Not talking about Heyman, but I'm talking about you know, if I was Marcos Maidana, you just try to get a Mayweather 3. You just throw it out there. That's what you do. You know, like, well, can I get a Mayweather 3? You know? So then you start looking at guys that can draw more. You start looking at, okay, well, what about Robert Guerrero? That's a perfect fight for Marcos Maidana, by the way. 2 Mayweather guys, but what about Robert Guerrero? He fought Mayweather. Oh, wait, you know, first he's going to go to Heyman and be like, well, what about Pacquiao? You know, of course they do that route first. Robert Guerrero did it. You know, Canelo right now, he like, I'm not coming down all that weight. You start looking at guys like Amir Khan. You start looking at a guy like Adrian Broner. You know AB can sell tickets. You start maybe looking at Lamont Peterson, you know. And I'm just saying, I'm not saying Lamont Peterson is over Keith Thurman. I'm saying that selling-wise, I just don't know. You know, Lamont Peterson, you put him down D.C., he's selling. You put Keith Thurman down Miami, what has he been doing? I don't know. Has he fought in Miami in like a while? I don't know. I should check right now, but that would be rude. But I guess I'm just trying to say, you know, Keith Thurman's in a situation where he is good. The Leonard Bundu performance didn't help him. I'm not gonna say all, like, fans don't say, oh, let's go see that Keith Thurman fight. You know, and partly because he's getting older and he's not fighting anyone that we know of. And I'm not even talking about we, I'm talking about the general boxing public. You put him against Adrian Broner, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen. Just, you know, listen to a scenario. You put him against Adrian Broner and he beats Adrian Broner in Cincinnati. You see how he can become you see how that would do so much for him? He's got to fight somebody like that. You know, Keith Thurman versus Marcos Maidana right now. Marcos Maidana would be basically taking a pay cut. But that's just my personal opinion, of course. This is T Street Controversy with RealCombatMedia.com. This is T Street Controversy Live. Marcos Maidana, you know, here's how it may go. Marcos Maidana may fight in Argentina. He may go to Sergio Martinez route and fight in Argentina, you know, in front of 30, 40, you know, maybe even 50,000. Maybe. You know, and that's if he doesn't get like a big bout. You know, he can fight like a B-level fighter over in Argentina and still sell, or a contender that maybe, you know, we haven't heard of, you know, over there in Argentina and still sell. But as far as the next American fight, you know, honestly, I don't know. Especially the fact that he's a Heyman fighter. Heyman probably like, all right, we're going to get you paid. So I can get you $1 million a fight now, but we got to make sure your opponents are not people that anybody know, you know, or people that we know you're going to beat, because we got to only give them like 100,000, maybe even less than like 50,000. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.